10, 9.
You want answers? I want the truth!
Get ready for two guys who can't handle the truth.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
But we can. Dave Palumbo, Chris Aceto. RxMuscle.com presents Heavy Muscle Radio. Watch out!
Welcome to another episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm joined, as always, by the technician Chris Aceto on this October 22nd, 2018 evening. And Chris, we are 1 week out from Halloween. That's about the most exciting thing that's going on right now in the bodybuilding world. Halloween's coming up.
We are at 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. You know, you want to hear something funny? Last week we had audio issues. Well, you didn't. I had, and we had a lot of trouble taping. It took us 2 hours to get the show started. And this week was starting off on the same note. And I said to myself, look, I have a brand new computer. We have great microphones. We hear each other perfectly. Something's wrong. And you know what it was? Skype came out with a new freaking edition. I downloaded it to try to be up. I try to keep up with technology, and it fucked up everything. And it fucked up the recording because you know what? They come out with these editions of these new editions of these programs, and they're not compatible with anything else because no one else has new versions out. So you try to record something that's not compatible with the new. It's insane. I have to install an old version. So I have to go back to like Chris's BlackBerry technology to record the show. It's just so stupid.
You got to go back to like web TV. I used to have web TV, dude.
Yeah.
Didn't even have the internet. I just had that little thing that adapted into your TV.
Yeah.
I'm not high tech. I think
you probably still have it. I bet you still use it.
No, I still have it. I just never threw it out. I'm waiting to get it recycled. But people will piss us.
Isn't it very uncomfortable to throw out like something that you spent money on? Like we have a computer monitor. It's like 24 inches that it's blurry. Like so, we got Amanda a new one because she works on it all day, obviously. And I have it sitting at the bottom of my stairs. I can't throw it out. It's like it looks perfect. It's like how do you throw that in the garbage? We probably paid a couple $100 for it.
Well, give it away to someone. So
that's what I was trying to do. Who the hell wants an old piece of shit? Who wants something that doesn't work?
Someone. Oh, it doesn't work at all?
Well, it works, but it's a little blurry. You know what the funny thing is? I could put the oldest piece of shit couch on my curb, and it's always gone before the garbage men get
Of course.
What do people do with these things? I don't even know.
I don't know. That's like apartments. You can throw out a couch and a broken down appliance. Somebody come take it either for the scrap metal or for they know how to fix it.
I love that. I love
they can reupholster something.
Yeah, I love that, don't you? Because it's like someone else could take your junk and turn it into something
trash
great.
Treasure. That was a whole show a long time ago. Trash to treasure.
I love it. I love the idea.
And
that's something that's something if I was in another life that I probably could have gotten into, like redoing like old stuff. Like I love that show. I don't really have time to watch TV, but that show where they the barnyard builders, they take old barns down and they build new shit out of it.
Yeah.
Love it. Why does barnwood look so cool? You notice that?
Well, it looks cool because it looks cool, but it's
gotta be old.
Solid. It's solid. It's more solid. The old wood is more solid than the new wood. Like you can build a house. I'm serious. You can build a house.
It's the same trees, though, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
No. No, any builder will tell you that the type of wood that was used 100 years ago is different than the wood that they use. Listen, I have flat roof apartments, and people go, wouldn't the snow cause it to cave in? When you see the wood that's been up there in an attic, it's just hard to describe. You got to go up and maybe I'll do a special someday in Chris's attic. We'll go by the bedbug guy and his building.
I would love to build a log cabin on my property, but you know what? With the hurricane situation here, Amanda won't let. There's nothing with wood can be done. Only cement. It's like she won't allow any wood anywhere on our property. She thinks it's going to blow away, and she's probably right. In 150 mile per hour winds, the log cabin would probably blow down.
She probably is right.
I would put up I would make a log cabin, and I would have a gym in it. I'd build my gym in the log cabin right on my property. It'd be great. I would never have to leave. I would never have to leave the property. We have terrible soil here. I can never live off the fat of the land like they did in Mice and Men. I have to like go to the supermarket and buy my vegetables. Every time I plant stuff, it just doesn't grow that well because we have sand here. It's horrendous.
Yeah.
Stuff grows better in pots. Like I'll put it in like a flower pot. I'll grow it. I'll get better vegetables than sticking it in the ground here. That's the only bad thing. It's funny. We spotted. Have that like big like I wouldn't even call it a canal. It's like a river in my backyard. And there's some alligators in there. Every once in a while we see them in the actual water. But Amanda goes, you see across the way? It's like 100 feet away across the little river. She's like, look at that over there. I'm like, I can't see anything. Like I see like nothing. So she's like, there's an iguana there. I'm like, what are you talking about? So we go outside, and sure enough, we get down close, and I take a picture of I blow my screen up as much as I can. I take a picture, and then I blow that up, and I can finally see the iguana. And she was 100% right. She's got like eagle vision, and I can't see shit anymore. I thought I just can't see close because I'm getting like old. I need reading glasses, but I can't see far away either, and I have contact lenses. So.
Well, I was reaching for my glasses today. I thought they were on the top of my head, and I was like reaching. I was like searching for them. They weren't even there. So.
You got to get that like that old lady
string.
The
string. I knew you said that. The string.
Yeah, it's like what is it? It's like the arm. With the guys who wear the army the army tags. Maybe Cedric can send you like a thing. He can make you like a little eyeglass holder thing for Father's Day or something like that. He's pretty handy. He made all his own gym equipment, right?
Yeah, you did.
So, I interviewed.
But we don't know what's going on. What happened during the week?
I interviewed Janae.
It's kind of like a letdown after the Olympia, right?
Yeah, I had a good interview. I interviewed Janae Marie Kroc, who is the powerlifter bodybuilder who turned into who's a transgender, who's now a woman, Janae Marie Kroc. Mm-hmm. She's got this documentary out. I think I talked about it last week. Transform.
Yeah, you did. How'd that go?
It was good. Great interview. She had her testicle removed. She had already had one removed because she had a testicular cancer, which is kind of ironic. You don't think about it. Talk about creating your own reality. She hated the fact that she had a penis her whole life because she wanted to be a woman, and she got testicular cancer and she had to have one removed. And that's so she had the other one removed. So she has no testicles, so she produces no testosterone now. And she got some facial surgery done, which looks good. She got her Adam's apple shaved down, so she's got a slightly higher voice now. And she might get the bottom surgery done. So that's pretty extreme when you go to that degree, right? Mm. It's interesting too. I asked her what kind of relationship what kind of who she's attracted to, because it's kind of a weird, type of thing. You're a guy, but you turn into you transform yourself into a woman. But she's attracted to women still, and she tried to date men, but she just doesn't like. She's not into that. So I said, well, who are you dating? I think she told me I'm dating someone. I said, who are you dating? She's like, I'm dating a lesbian. So it's kind of interesting, right? It gets confusing. She's dating a lesbian who likes women. But she's really a man who's turned into a woman. So I said, well, do you guys have conventional sex? And she's like, well, no, not really. So I didn't get any further into it than that. But it's a complicated situation, right? I like it, though. It's kind of intriguing, the whole thing. It's so unconventional in the sense that, like, all the stereotypes have been broken and busted, and all the rules have been thrown out the window. With that relationship. But it's a good documentary. It's called Transformer. I know you can download it on iTunes. The interview will be up this week, but I think it's terrific. It's one of those things you can watch, it's like you sit down with an hour and a half, you watch it with your wife and your kids who will ask you a million questions, but it's really good. You'll like the part when they go to talk to his mother and father because they're completely non-accepting of what's going on, especially the dad. The dad lives in a trailer park. You could just totally relate to your family, not accepting of anything that you want to do, So.
Well, my family's
Can you imagine? No, seriously.
Disrespected.
Yeah.
They would say no. They just wouldn't say yes. I mean,
well, that's what he did. He said, "Dad, you know, he's like, well, as long because he came and saw his dad in the documentary as a guy, kind of,
yeah."
And he's like telling him about this. He's like, well, you better not come around here with any breasts or anything like that, and women's clothes. I'm not gonna let you in the house. He's like, well, I might have to do that because in the future. He's like, well, I don't want to hear about it. It's like, and the dad knows he's on film too. It's not like the dad's like my dad would like probably fake it for the film. He'd be like an actor. He probably wouldn't tell the truth. His dad is like, no fucking way. So I thought it was very honest. I like to watch things where people are so honest about themselves that you have to admire it almost, because it's got to be the toughest situation of all time. He is a Marine, he's a power lifter, a bodybuilder, like the manliest man's man of all time, and he just admitted to the world, in a documentary that I want to be a woman. It's like the Bruce Jenner theory. I actually thought that he would have gotten together with Bruce there, or Caitlin, whatever she's called now, and been friends, but he said no, he hasn't run into her yet in his travels. I put up the tonight the big Sean Allen interview, 2011 North American.
Oh, we did.
Pro card winning interview. We put up as an RX Muscle Classic.
Definitely gonna watch
people
it.
could watch that. Yeah.
I'm literally writing it down to watch.
Now, obviously, the big interview of the week was the Shawn Rhoden interview, which you were part of.
Oh, I already forgot about it. How's that?
Right? How's that? Yeah, it got a lot of traffic. Got a lot of hits. A lot of people liked it a lot because it was real, And I think that, look, after all, that's really, at the end of the day, people want real. And Sean, I thought, was very honest.
Yeah, well, people want real, but people don't give people real. They just give them what they think is real.
Well, I've never seen you so really aggressively honest lately about the whole thing, because I know that
I'm honest about things that I know about.
Right. Well, I think you're pissed off that a lot of people about the Phil interview, and that Phil kind of really wasn't too.
Well, I mean, people don't call Phil out, so that's somebody does have to, I told you I watched our wrap up on RX Muscle about the press conference. If you want to see raw and real, watch that.
Yeah, true.
I just said the press conference sucked, and the people who directed it stunk, and that they should scrap it. How's that for honest? No, because you were like, well, you wanted to like put a spin on it, like it was like a good. It's like a joke.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
You didn't like all the trash talking. Yeah, I know.
It's a joke. I don't like the encouragement of it. I don't like the.
So what do you, if we had to do the press conference, like ideal, if you had to sit down, if we had, how you do all these committees with your apartment complexes that you're on these committees, like if we had to sit down, all of us,
association,
and put together what the format of the press conference should be, and how long it should be. I think it's too long, but what would it be like? How would you run it?
Top 6 people from last year are the one. Not everyone needs a question.
Right.
I don't care if you made it to the Olympia or not. We don't need to know the guy who's going to get 29th place.
Right.
Anything. So we just take the top 6 from last year, or top 10 max, probably top 6, and you want to find out from them what their expectations are and why they feel that way. So expectations could cover where they think they're going to place, how they think the show's going to go down, and why do they feel that way? Why do they feel that way? They'll back it up with, I trained harder, I changed this, I changed that. I mean, if you want to go to like, hey, so-and-so, we saw that, when's it going to stop? We saw you out on a date with someone you're not married to. I mean, that's not outside the realm right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have competitors grabbing microphones and saying, calling out other competitors when those competitors aren't even part of the press conference.
Right. So they should just be relevant questions to what's going on. I mean, to the
They
show.
should be
Will it be too boring? Maybe it should just be like a 20 minute. Maybe it should be 20 minutes.
Dave, it doesn't matter if it's boring. I mean, what do you want someone to do? Come out and start jacking off and say, wow, well, you never guess what happened. Got 10 million hits, though. One of the competitors jacked off, but it got 10 million hits. Very controversial. I mean, you either got to decide if you want to have a phony fucking tabloid sport like National Enquirer,
right?
Or do you want to have a sport that's respectable? I mean, the patheticness of it is someone asked, they asked Jose Raymond something, and he said, I basically said, and it was a real speech where we started the show and said people want to hear real, but they don't want to hear real. They just want to present something fraudulent, is when Jose said, gave a great speech about what bodybuilding has done for him, how it's helped him see the world, how it's helped him improve as a person, the rivalries that he had, people like this, right. Meaning Bob Chickarello, let's move on to the next guy who wants to jack off on the stage and get 10 million hits. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And you know what? The reason I keep harping on it is because they'll just do it again next year. Here, you want to sit down and have a condo association meeting and come up with the lines for next year? It'll be, well, Remy's back with a new trainer, and he's a threat to Shawn Rhoden. What about Rolly? Kuwait, Rolly, and
You made a good point. You asked where's Beta Badai been? We've heard it's been very quiet over there at Oxygen Gym. We haven't heard a peep from them, right?
Not one peep.
And why do you think that is? Because the guys didn't do too well over there. I mean, Brandon did all right, but Rolly did well.
Those don't matter at all.
The big hitters didn't do well, is what you're saying.
Well, the person who was personally guaranteed that he was going to win the Olympia has to requalify.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
And if yours truly was, God forbid, I bring him in peeled and cross-jointed glutes. He's flat. Stupidness. Hey, how's that for real?
It's very real. I'm going to try to get Beta Badai on the show, find out what's going on over there. I want to ask him what happened. Because he did tell me he was personally handling Rami's prep. I'm sure there's something, happened, and I want to find out what happened. Maybe he did tell Sid that he would be willing to talk to us in a couple weeks. So a couple weeks have passed. So maybe we'll try to get him on the show this week.
Well, they've had 4 weeks to try to figure it all out, haven't they?
Yeah.
Come up with an alibi or something.
So there was a couple shows this weekend. There was the Alicante Pro in Spain. Where is Alicante, Spain? I don't even know.
I don't even know.
I heard it's nice there, though. They had a classic men's physique.
Spain is beautiful.
Yeah. Rylan McDougall won the classic. I like this guy's physique. We've been featuring him on Muscle in the Morning the last couple of weeks. Terrific talent. David Martinez second, and Igor Agostoyunin from Spain. So the two Spanish guys finished second and third. Rylan, obviously, from the United States. Congratulations to those guys. That was a good move on Rylan's part to go over to Spain. There was no one else in the lineup from the U.S. there. It was all Spanish guys and some UK guys, Polish guys. I don't know what these Americans. They got to go overseas. We talked about this the last couple of weeks, man. You guys got to make contacts out there. You're so silly. You're missing great opportunities.
Holy smokes! You got to go. Just keep going. At this point, there's so many. Everyone wants to be a pro bodybuilder.
It's like a European tour for classic now. You might as well go and hit all the shows, man. Why not? Make some money and make some contacts. There was the pro bikini division was won by Maureen Blanquisco from Norway. Oh, that's a good. She'll be at the Olympia. Good for her. Priscilla Leinbacher was second. She had won a show the week before that, and Cristobelina Pajares was third. Congratulations on those ladies. There was the Kentucky Muscle this past weekend, too. And Larry Smith won the men's physique. Excuse me. The classic physique was won by our friend Pierre Panissy. Congratulations. His career was almost over as a bodybuilder because he just couldn't put enough size on. I even worked with him once or twice. I said he's just not big enough for these guys. And then they made Classic, and the guy turned pro, and he's won 2 pro shows. He's going back to Olympia. Congratulations, man, Pierre. You're awesome. Jason Theobald, congratulations, 2nd place, and Eric Hernandez finishes in 3rd from Mexico. In the men's physique, we have.
What are you seeing in all this?
I'm looking on ifbbpro.com. Kamani Victor from Canada wins. The men's physique was a huge stack lineup. In 2nd place was George Brown, our good friend from Columbus, Ohio, and my client Antonio Mitchell finishes in that 3rd position. So congratulations to him. In the pro figure division, we had Brittany Campbell. Oh, it's a blast from the past name. She wins it. Back to the Olympia next year. Martina Yabakova, another good friend to the show, finishes in the 2nd position. Congratulations to her, and Missy Farrell in 3rd. So congratulations to all the winners in Kentucky. And then, of course, we had the Titans Pro, John Lindsay's Titan Pro. And that was just a men's physique division. And we had Carter Montgomery from San Diego who won that. Carlos De Olivero in 2nd, and Audrey Benson in 3rd. So there's your recap Monday for RX Muscle here. I like to get everyone's give them their due. Now we got the NPC Nationals coming up in a few weeks, right? What do you think about that? Do you have any horses in that race?
Yeah, I got a couple horses. Whatever the 80-pound class is in the super. The 80-pound, 80-kilogram classic, whatever that class. Is it 165? 165, I get them confused.
Yeah, the welterweights.
Classic.
Well, classic only doesn't have weight. I guess they have height weight classes, you know.
Well, okay, so this stage you have to be you can't be more than 65, whatever.
You got to be a certain height to be a certain weight.
Yeah,
so.
the kid has to be 165, but he can't be any taller than a certain amount.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I get a little confused.
Right. I don't know. Everyone's asking me if I'm going to the Nationals. I already told you. You know what my answer is.
No, I know you're not going.
I'm not going unless you get an apology. You know that's not going to happen.
No, that ain't never going to happen.
Well, you know what? If people want me there, I think a few people might be. We have a lot of people listen to the show. We probably have 20,000 people listen to the show before it's all said and done, maybe more. And if people want to see Dave Palumbo at the Nationals, contact. Let me find out what his email is. Let's see what this guy. What's Steve Carroll? What's
Steve Carroll at kickemout.com.
Let's see. Hold on. I'm gonna look this up.
He may kick me out. I don't know. He might be guilty by association.
Yeah, who knows? It's a shame. It's a great show. They just don't want anyone. They just don't want anyone covering it. That's all. They want to handicap people. They want people to do interviews in the parking lot. So stupid.
No video cameras, but you can have your iPhone.
Yeah, it's funny. They put Pam Betts' email. Poor Pam Betts. I don't want to have 15,000 people email her. But I might have to. Yeah. You know what? If you want Dave Palumbo there, email Pam Betts. PAMBETZ at AOL.com. You tell her, Dad, we want Dave Palumbo at the Nationals doing interviews. Tell Steve Carroll to apologize to him. You can send that to Pam Betts and tell her. Maybe if she gets 15,000 emails, she can forward to Steve Carroll. Maybe someone will send an apology email to me and say, you know what, maybe we overreacted a little bit and we ruined your weekend. Sorry. We'd like to have you back. We made a mistake. That's the right thing to do, don't you think?
Yeah, you can stay with me at my place.
Yeah, I love staying at your place. That's like I hate to say vacation, but it's a working vacation. But no, I enjoy. I don't see that many times a year. You come on New Year's Eve. We go to Corral. Oh, by the way, you know how we go to Golden Corral all the time? They closed. The Board of Health closed Golden Corral for like a week or something like that. They had like 14 health violations. They had high health violations. Someone probably ratted them out.
Where are you guys going for lunch now?
My son loves the place. He knows it now. When we drive by it, he points to it.
Oh, isn't that funny when they can identify where things are?
Yes, he knows the bagel store. He knows the Golden Corral. He knows Carrabba's. Today we went to the Mexican restaurant. My kids are starting to behave again. We can go out to eat again. and it's really funny. So now Golden Corral shut down.
Well,
my wife's like, "Will you go back?"
She's like,
She's like, "We can't go back." They said, "Why not?" Because when they reopen, they're going to be the cleanest place in town because they got the Board of Health breathing down their throat now.
Yeah, true. They'll make them overclean it.
Yeah, it'll be great.
They usually close them because of roaches.
Yeah, someone found a roach or something like that. But you know what? There's roaches in every restaurant. I know people who own restaurants, and they tell me that every restaurant has roaches. It's impossible not to with the amount of food that goes on there. It's just, you can't avoid it. But you know what it is? You can't have them crawling on people's tables. That's the thing. You know, if you have a couple in the kitchen, that's one thing. Roaches in a restaurant is like bed bugs in a hotel room, you know?
Yeah.
People don't like that.
Well, the other flip side is you can come to Miami and I can grab some bed bugs at one of my buildings and we can stay at the Four Seasons.
That's right.
And then we can call the front desk and say, "Excuse me, can you send someone up here? I think we got a funny looking mosquito." They'd comp our room for a week.
Exactly.
And we'd have to bilk them out of the meals too. And say, "Oh, this has caused a lot of pain and suffering. I mean, we got to be able to eat at the $93 breakfast buffet."
Absolutely. So I posted a picture on Instagram. I posted a picture a couple weeks ago of Greg Kovacs and I, and the response to it was great. I mean, there was so many people talking about Greg and remembering him and telling stories. As a matter of fact, one of the guys I'm going to try to get on the TV show this week, I didn't realize he was that close to Greg, but he knows all he was telling stuff on Instagram about everything that was going on with Greg and all the things he did. And I was like, and I knew a lot of it was true. He knew more than I do because he was training with him every day or something like that. And he knew Kim, Greg's ex-wife. He'd be a great guy to get on the show because I can get all the scoop. He even knew all the scoop on Nasser and when Nasser was staying there, and what Nasser was eating and how much food he was eating, and that Nasser didn't. Greg used to eat 8 meals a day, and Nasser didn't like to eat 8 times a day. He would only eat 5 times a day, but he would eat more food, and Greg would eat really clean food, and Nasser would had to have his pasta and all his. Nasser's the only guy I ever know who diets on pasta. You knew that, right?
Oh, Nasser?
Yeah, he would eat pasta while he was dieting.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He thought he looked better on it. He would carb up on pasta too. I don't know anyone who carbs up on pasta. I don't know why guys don't do it, but isn't it weird that no one carbs up on pasta?
Oh God, Nasser is
Think about it though, Chris. Why is that? Is it the gluten and I don't know. Why don't people eat pasta to carb up?
The reason?
Yeah.
Oh, to tell you the 100% reason people don't do it, because people don't do it.
Isn't it just weird though that there's
people do things because other people do them.
Right. It's a convention that no one really has broken. I don't know the reason why.
I will carve up the 2 people. You have my word.
You carve someone up on pasta.
I'm telling you mark my words. I'm going to carve up the 2 people I'm helping at the Nationals. Let's see if they collapse on pasta.
And you know what? That'll be with the new thing. Everyone will use it after that. Everyone will be like, Aceto used pasta. That was the secret. Oh, my God. Dave and Tris were talking on the radio. They discovered the secret that no one knew. That's why he was so full. His skin was going to bust.
Shrink wrap. Yeah. Pushing. The muscle was pushing.
All these guys that are coming in too flat, that's the key.
It's the water inside the pasta. The pasta absorbs water.
Yeah, see, we blew it, Chris. I should have come out with like a powdered pasta product or something like that. That's what I'll do. If you carb someone up if you carb these 2 guys up on pasta and they win, I'm just going to be like, I'm using the data extrapolated from Chris's Nationals successes, and we're releasing a powdered pasta product.
It's funny, Nasser.
And we'll have to, Nasser's family.
You got to have an iron debate. Who is more successful, Nasser or Ramy?
Without a doubt, Nasser. No doubt in my mind. He won the Arnold. He won the. He should have won the Olympia in '97. He was a freak. He won the Night of Champions. I mean, but he was way better than Ramy when he won all those shows. Don't you think?
Yeah, he'd get nasty hard.
And the funny thing is that Nasser in the offseason had that same billowy muscle that Ramy has. It must be an Egyptian thing. But when Nasser got in shape, he was deadly.
Oh, he could get very hard.
And he he didn't like to diet either, but he was able to suffer. I just think that Rami's not suffering.
I hate the diet, but I hate Shawn Ray more than I hate the diet, so I must eat less pasta, Dave.
Yes, I must say that Shawn Ray, he has inferior genetics to me, but I will give him that, for a 5'2" man, he is put together pretty well, but I outweigh him by 60 pounds, and I don't see, there's no way
I'd say
he can touch
160.
me. Yeah, 160.
160.
I wanted to talk about all the guys that we knew and that are no longer with us.
Oh, yeah, you talk about that dead body. Yeah,
Well, we got Nasser Fitz in there, Kovacs. Today, I put up a picture of myself. I've been going through, my old website, and I have, it saved on an old hard drive, and I've been finding old pictures that were in my member section, pictures that no one ever saw, basically, unless you were a member of my website, which a lot of people weren't. I didn't have that many members. And I put, and I realized, I said to my wife, it's amazing how, when I look at these pictures, it seems like they're almost from 20 years ago, but then she's like, they are. They almost are. She's like, they're like 17 years ago.
I do the same thing. I'm like, well, that looks like it's 25 years ago. My someone would tell me that was 25 years ago. Yeah, but oh God, maybe it was.
Think about it. In 2 years. The year 2000 will be 20 years ago. And that seems like it was yesterday,
I see you got Art Atwood in there.
Yeah, so I put Art Atwood up, a picture I had with him. And Art, here's a good story about Art. I was ashamed to tell this story when I was, competing. But Art, when I was coming up, obviously, I used to always study all the people that were, close to me.
Of course you did,
and,
of course.
I tried to figure out who I could beat and who I couldn't beat. And Art won the Junior Nationals. Art won the Junior USA the year after I won the Junior Nationals. I'm like, who the hell's this guy? From Wisconsin. And I had a good friend who lived in Wisconsin.
You're like, who's big like that in Wisconsin? What the hell? How can he get big?
I'm trying to find fault with him and stuff like that. So I went and did a guest posing in Wisconsin, and Art was at the show, and I'm like, he was enormous. I was big too, but he was he looked uncomfortably enormous, And I'm like, damn, man, this fucking guy Art Atwood, I got to deal with this guy. But he didn't have great shape either. So it was I knew if I could and I beat him more than he beat me. The one show I didn't do, the Nationals that year, he won and turned pro. And then he surprised everyone, if you remember. He won the Toronto Pro Show.
Yeah, I remember that.
He beat some good guys.
I think Dexter was in that show, wasn't he?
He beat some very good guys, yeah. I don't remember the entire lineup, but he beat a good line. It wasn't like it was all losers. It was some good guys in that lineup. He was enormous, and he was shredded. And I'm like, this fucking guy could have been me. I'm saying to myself, this guy could have been me. But I always liked Art because Art was a smart guy. A lot of people didn't know how smart Art was because he was kind of quiet. But he brought Vitargo from Europe to the United States. That was Art. And I used to buy it from him. When I used to sell things on my website before I had Species Nutrition, I used to buy Vitargo from him and sell it on my website. I sold, right when Art died, I was selling 100 tubs a month probably for him. I always tell people, I always sold other people's products. I still sell other people's products, even though I make my own brand. I sell the stuff that I like, And Art was just a good guy, and I just think he just got into some bad times. I don't know if he was gotten involved with some recreational drugs, and he just wasn't. I don't know. He wasn't in a good place, and I don't know what the official cause of death. I don't remember what it was, but he definitely died too young, and it was a shame because I think he had a lot of talent in business. Guys and people liked him. He was a likable guy, and when people like you, they'll buy from you. He could have been a successful businessman. I just think that he just he wasn't managing his personal life and his health too well, which is the case with a lot of these guys. Kovacs had that heart valve replaced. I talked to him like 3 or 4 days after he had the surgery, and he was in his house, and he's like, I'm feeling good. He's like, oh yeah, he texted me, oh great, you don't even care about me, you don't love me anymore, or something like that. And I called him up, and I'm like, what do you mean I don't love you? He's like, yeah, I just got surgery. I said, well, I want to give you a couple days to recover. And so we were just bullshitting and shooting. I said, how do you feel? He goes, I feel 1,000 times better. I can breathe good. Evidently he had a very incompetent heart valve, and it wasn't allowing his heart to pump efficiently. 2 days later, I get a call, or I think I got a call from his ex-wife or something like that, or his ex-girlfriend, or his girlfriend. I don't remember who it was, and telling me what happened. I was like, what the He just dropped in his apartment, no specific reason. And I'm sure it had something to do with the surgery, but what a horrible, horrible thing. But, this guy who was writing on the board, on the Instagram about Greg, was talking about some of the lifts that he did in the gym when he was younger, in his mid-20s. They were ridiculous. I mean, he was lifting he was benching people think he used all machines. He didn't use machines. He used all free weights when he was younger. Maybe toward the end of his career, he was using a lot of machines because he didn't even need to do free weights anymore. But he still lifted a ridiculous amount of weight. He would bench press almost 600 pounds, for reps.
Oh yeah.
But he was 400 pounds too.
Yeah, I see him do 400. The one time I saw him, he was doing shoulder press with 400.
Yeah, he would behind the neck press 400, which was crazy. But for his weight, I mean, if you think about it, it wasn't that much, but it's still a lot of weight. And, you know what I mean? You say, well, he's 400 really pounds,
heavy. But I mean, it's like a 100-pound guy doing 100, 200 pound doing 200. Discount.
It's he was an impressive man, that's for sure. Another guy, that was really sad that I was very good friends with for a number of years was Matt Duvall.
Oh, that's right.
He dropped too, way too young. He got into WWE, and he had torn a pec, and then he was living. I believe he was living in Atlanta with the girl he was dating, and they found him in the bathroom dead. So probably had a heart attack, I would say. Too many guys going down. There was a rumor that Ifbb had died. Someone had told me, and I went and looked at his Facebook page, and he just posted something a couple hours ago. So I don't think he died. He's a nice guy. I'm glad he didn't die. I died a few times. You know that, right?
No, I took you to Australia looking for kidneys and livers for neglect.
No, but what would happen back in the day, and I think I've told this before, but people like to hear these stories. What would happen is when I would travel from New York to California, to go to Venice, which was at least 4 times a year, every time I would do that, now remember, there were no cell phones, there was no social media. People couldn't get in touch with me at my house, so they would just assume that I'm dead, No one knew I was in California. It wasn't like I could post on Facebook, hey, I'm out in California. No one knew until you came back if you didn't tell them, where you were going. All the time. Dave's dead. Dave's liver failure. Dave needs a kidney. I heard all these crazy rumors all the time. And of course, your best. You find out who your best friends are because they call you up. Everything all right, Dave? I was worried about you. What are you worried about? Oh, I heard you died. I said, I'm glad I didn't. That's pretty good. But Eric Fromm died. Remember him? He was a great...
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know he died.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I did know he died. Yeah, yes. Eric Fromm, yes.
Who else?
Yeah, how'd he die?
Derek Whitsitt died. I think Eric Fromm died of a drug overdose. He was on a bad path, too. A lot of these guys, they when they stop competing, they lose their will to live, and they just do silly things. It's like they're looking for a way out of the world. You know what I mean? That's why you always have to have some kind of new, exciting passion going on in your life.
You always got to have something.
If you don't, you're going down. You're going to leave. You don't need to be here anymore. We create our reality, and
either that or you're going to get Alzheimer's. One of the two. Seriously,
we create our own reality in this existence down here. When we're done writing our story, we leave. It's not a bad thing. When you leave, after you leave and you go to wherever you're going to go, you're probably very happy, I'm sure. The problem is that, it's the people you're leaving behind that are upset about the fact that you left, So, I always say, make sure you have a lot to do down here while you're here. And if you better always be recreating what you need to do, because you can't do bodybuilding forever. You can't at least compete forever. You might be able to be involved in the industry forever. That's something you can do. But you can't compete forever. So you got to have to try to keep finding new things to do and to be excited about it. Because I remember when you first discovered bodybuilding and you were competing, it was like all you thought about all day, all night.
24/7.
All you talked about.
24/7. Is everything that Dave? I think bodybuilding is more obsessive compulsive than. I don't think baseball players think of swinging bats 24 hours a day.
I don't know. I guess if you're really good at it, maybe.
I'm serious. Do they?
I don't know. I'm a
the
little
whole
obsessive
eating
compulsive
thing,
about
you know
everything.
what I mean? It's the eating and the training, and
Sure.
then thinking about the eating and thinking about the training, and then thinking of what you're going to look like, and thinking of what you used to look like. And,
True. Bodybuilding is just a lifestyle, though, change. But baseball's cooler, like they get better equipment. I wish bodybuilding had better equipment. All we have is like a belt we can wear, really. Maybe a couple of knee wraps.
wrist wraps.
Yeah. Baseball players get to buy mitts. They get to wear all that cool uniform. They can wear batting gloves.
That's why people like the Underground Steroid Handbook and that type of stuff. That's good product.
Well, yeah, we play with drugs. We play with steroids. I used to organize them in different drawers. I had this bureau in my father's house. And with a million.
I wish you had a video camera.
Oh, me too. Can you imagine? I had it was like a museum. Each drawer had its own little, drug.
Sure, because I know how organized you are. You can tell me, right?
It was like collecting. It was better than collecting baseball cards. I'd be like, I remember I had a couple gems. I had a couple vials of Permistrol that I kept for a rainy day.
I don't even remember what that was for. What was
Permistrol
that?
It was Masteron, but it was from France. It was like the name brand Masteron.
I wish I'm looking at a metal 4-drawer tall file cabinet that I figured you'd love.
Yeah, that's probably where you put your stuff. Yeah, probably the same one.
You could put all your stuff in.
I had.
So you had Permistrol. I remember you had Permistrol.
I had a couple bottles of Winstrol V, the veterinary one, but this was after it was almost impossible to get the stuff. I had a friend who had some weird connections, and he just got me a bunch of stuff for myself, and it was all name brand Depot testosterone, which was the brand name for Tescipionate back then, from Upjohn. I had a couple of those. I had the Red Eject Sustenons that no one had. This was after they kind of were really hard to get. I had some Organon Deca, from a pharmacy. I had I don't know if you remember this. Halotestin was an American drug. You get it from an American pharmacy. They were green mint, little green mints. They looked like.
Yeah.
They were green colored, and I had the real ones. They were 20. I think they were 20 milligrams a piece.
Did you have the Drive from Australia?
I did. I think I told you I had a bottle of Drive, and I had a bottle of. There was another name. There was Drive, and then there was something else. It was another interesting name like that. I had all these and I wouldn't use them. I just kept them, because I was like,
just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case.
I remember that there was I think it was might have been the Junior Nationals or something like that. I was putting all my eggs into one basket. I'm like, I had 12 vials of the Permistrol. I'm like, I'm going to use 6 of them. I'll use the last 3 weeks. I'm going to do 2 vials a week, and I was convinced it made a difference, because no one had no one had Masteron. Yeah. There was nothing. There was no Masteron. That was it. Permistrol was it, and they had stopped making it, so there was only a handful of vials here and there that people had left, from that. Parabol, and I had its own drawer,
76 mgs per.
Yep. Per 1.5 ml.
Stink when you open it up. You'd have to saw it open, right?
Yeah, you have to lose the little file that it comes with. Or what I would do, is I would do it with my teeth.
I was just gonna say, as a parody, what would you open it with your teeth?
No, I'd score it with my teeth, and then I would put I learned my lesson. If you just try to crack it with your hands, invariably the glass goes through your fingers. It shatters in your fingers. So I used to use I had a washcloth, a special washcloth I would do, and I would just snap it off, But I would score it with my teeth. I have to admit, my incisors I would use. Then there was a drug called Dynabolin. I don't know if people remember. It was kind of like a cross between Decker and Parabolin, and it was called Dynabolin. It came in amps. I had a bunch of those because I had a very good connection. What else did I have? I'm trying to think of some of the other esoteric stuff I had. They were called. What was the anadrols from Spain called? Homogenin were from the ones from Brazil. But then there was something Oxy something or others. They were called from Spain. I had a bunch of those, but I never really used them because I didn't really like anadrols. I didn't really respond that well. Of course, I had 20,000 of the Thailand D-balls that were those little pink stop signs. Remember those?
I just spit my gum right out. 20,000.
There were 1,000 in a bottle. That's
I
why.
literally just spit my gum out after that laugh.
Well, they came
You
20.
there it is.
They came
You said
1,000.
20,000.
Yeah,
20,000.
20,000.
You need
It sounds
20,000 for.
it's only 20 bottles. 20 bottles of the stuff. You never know, right? A rainy day, you might have to take a few extra.
You must have loved the idea. It's like someone with stock. I have 20,000 shares. We have 20,000 D-ball.
My whole thing was that I needed to have at least a whole year's worth of cycles in my drawer at all times. Like I can never go lower than that in case there was a drought. This way, I would be the only bodybuilder who had gear to compete. No one else would have anything.
Dave Palumbo wins the 93 Mr. Olympia as everyone else had a drought.
Yeah, exactly. I had to have like a year's worth of growth hormone present in my refrigerator at all times, which was interesting because I was living in my dad's house and my dad would be like,
"Did you have a generator?" Speaking of, in case the fridge went out.
No, I didn't even think. Who knew about that stuff back then? Yeah, that could have been a problem. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have that kind of money to buy a generator, but I had the money. I could have bought a generator probably with what the growth hormone cost, because back then you had to buy like Lilly Humatrope was like, what was it, 12 IU, per box, and the boxes were like $200 a piece. It was crazy. That's why people said, I don't believe you took. I can only afford to take 2 IUs a day. Think about it. One of those 12 IU boxes wouldn't even last a week. It was 6 days. 2 IUs a day. But it worked, man. That stuff worked really well. I wanted to talk about growth hormone for a minute. Chris, I don't know if you... I want you to start doing this, okay? You have a lot of clients. I want you to tell all your clients to go to Walmart and get themselves a blood sugar monitor. They're $10, $9. And test their fasting blood sugars in the morning. Yeah. I'm finding that every single person who's on growth hormone is running high blood sugars in the morning, because they should be under 90 when you wake up fasted. And these people are running over 100, which is a problem. It could definitely lead to side effects. They're cumulative. And that no bodybuilder is just doing growth hormone for 1 year. They're using it for 10 years, 15 years. So I'm finding that the only solution to that is to take a long-acting insulin like Lantus. Which is good. It's not like a fast acting. You just take it. You don't even know it's in the background. But what it does is it keeps your blood sugars intact, lower. It takes the strain off the pancreas. It's going to make people less likely to be type 2 diabetics or type 1 diabetics later in life. And we're seeing a lot of that in the bodybuilding world. And I don't know if that's necessarily due to GH use. I think it is. But it's certainly not helping. There's way more people with insulin issues, with high blood sugar issues in the bodybuilding world who have retired or who have been competing for a number of years, and I truly believe it's from using GH. So I want everyone out there who's listening, get a blood sugar monitor. If your blood sugars are running over 90 and you're on GH, which is usually what the reason is, you got to get some Lantus insulin, and you might have to hire someone like me to show you how to use it.
I was going to say you might hire.
Because because it's one of these things, Chris, that you can't just give, take this much. It's every person's different. And you have to kind of like work with them to get the right dosage. And once they do it, they're going to feel better. You grow much better too on that stuff. Once you are able to absorb all your blood sugar, and all your food properly, you grow really well. And it doesn't make you fat. It's not like taking a fast-acting insulin like Humalog or Humulin R. If you take that and you really don't need it, a lot of guys get fat from it and bloated. The long-acting insulins don't do that. So. But I thought I had to put it out there because I probably, and I'm not exaggerating, of probably maybe 30 people I've had testing their blood sugars, 28 of them have high blood sugars, and the other 2 aren't on GH. So that means every person who I've had tested on GH has had high blood sugars. Now, some are not high enough that warranted them taking it, but most of them were. And I got a lot of these guys on it. And I'm telling you, they're growing better. They look better, and obviously their blood work is, their blood sugars are great. The great thing about these blood sugar monitors, when we were competing, they weren't affordable. They were a couple $100 each, and no one wanted to use it. No one knew how to use it. I'm telling you guys how to use it. It's so easy. You go there, you buy the blood sugar monitor, you buy the little there's like a little spring-loaded thing that nails your finger, and that's where you get the little blood droplet from. And then you buy the test strips that go with the meter. If you go to Walmart, it's $9 for the meter, it's $9 for the test strips, and it might be $3 for the little spring-loaded thing. And you're set. You can test your blood sugar a million times. You never have to go back to the store after that. And once again, the more data you collect about yourself, the better. I would also taste my blood sugar 2 hours after your biggest meal and see what it's running. It should be under 130. Usually those postprandial, which are the 2-hour post-meal blood sugars, are not being affected for some reason. It's only the fasting blood sugars that are going up. That means while you're sleeping at night, when your liver's producing glucose,
You never come back to zero.
it's not the pancreas
Not
is
zero,
not
but
responding.
you never come back.
Yeah. So that's my little advice for the week there. Hopefully people will listen to it. But ask your clients to do it. I'm telling you, it's some good data you can get for yourself, because I'm telling you, a lot of guys who have trouble growing in the off season, I really believe it's from insulin resistance. I know that must have been my problem. I solved the problem by taking fast acting insulin during the day, but I think that if I would have taken a long acting insulin at night, I think that might have solved the problem without me having to even use the other insulin. But maybe use both of it. I know Milos is probably listening to the show right now and taking notes. He's a fast acting insulin guy, but yeah, I don't think he has any problem with giving people long acting insulin too, right?
I don't know.
He wouldn't care. That's just any excuse to give insulin, Milos would be up for, I think. Oh my God, Milos.
I think he's in China. I checked his Instagram.
He is still there. He's there till December. Good for him. He's making some money for himself. I like to believe that I'm responsible for that. Don't you think so?
I think that
them hiring him over there.
Well, I don't know, but I know that.
I think so. I'm taking credit for it.
Well,
they see him on our show. He's talking about his
protocols.
His protocols.
That's a keyword.
And
protocols.
Even if I don't agree with certain of his protocols, and 90% of the people out there don't, there's 10% of the people who do agree with him, want to find out about it. And Milos is a good guy to get over there. Like, if you want someone I know he's helping one of their top guys over there. He's good because he's very attentive, and he'll train the guy. And I'm sure they don't train as hard and know. Well, Milos is very good with diet too. He's got the insane insulin protocol, but everything else he does is pretty solid. So he's a good guy. And how many guys literally, Chris? You couldn't go if they offered you $100,000 to go over there for 3 months. You couldn't go.
No, I can't go.
You can't go. You have businesses. You have a family. So Milos really doesn't have any ties. So that's great for Milos. He can make money. He's got that freedom to go over there. He'll probably get married to some Chinese girl over there. I told him, I said, don't get married when you go over there. Don't you come back with a wife. I said, I'm just warning you, because I know you get weak, Milos. He was laughing. He's like, I might find some women over there. I said, but don't. I said, the problem is you fall in love with everyone. I said,
yeah.
Don't fall in love. I said, stop.
Prepper for the Bikini Olympia.
I said, don't do it. I said, just say no. Poor Milos.
Where's Cormier? Speaking of travel and
He's
bodybuilding,
probably in
where is Cormier?
Kuwait.
Let's see. I'll have to check his Instagram, see where he is.
He's got a good gig over there too.
Well, why don't you get him on the show?
I will. I get him on the show all the time. He was on the show when we had who did we have when we had Rulli on the show? Or Brandon? Brandon was it? No. When I had Ashkenani on the show, he was on. Dennis James Classic in Germany is coming up, October 27th, next weekend, in Jorunderl, Frankfurt. Bikini Pro, Classic Physique Pro. See, these classic guys, they got 1 million opportunities to qualify for next year's Olympia. Dennis is smart because he's got the language thing going for him. He speaks German. He lived over there for a while. The United States is too cluttered up. Go over to Germany where you got connections. You speak the language, and then cash in over there. I think it's a great idea. The German bodybuilding scene is huge over there anyway. You know that. Yeah. They're giving out 7 pro cards in all the divisions. He's going to make a fortune over there. Guaranteed. Dennis is one of these guys who knows how to make money in our industry. No doubt. Actually, next weekend is also that Baltimore Classic, too.
Did you know that? No, I didn't know that. I don't even know what
wasn't
it
there
is.
a pro? I don't know if there's a pro men's show there this year. There's an Ifbb Masters Baltimore Pro. Oh, it's all Masters. Interesting. They have 35 and over: men's bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding, men's classic physique, men's physique, bikini, figure, women's physique. I wonder if it's all Masters. That was a good show. Remember that year that Akeem lost to, who did he lose to? Victor?
Akeem lost to, yes. Yep.
You also have the Amateur Olympia Brazil next weekend. Giving out 18 pro cards there. That's in Sao Paulo. We got a busy weekend next weekend. We got the Ultimate Warriors Pro, John Lindsay's show. That's Pro Classic Physique. Another Classic Physique on the same day. So you got two shows on the same weekend. So you don't even have to go overseas. You can do it in the United States. You got Dennis's show. You got the Lindsay show. You got the Baltimore Classic. A lot going on next weekend. What am I going to do next weekend?
Feed the snakes. You got
I taught my class this
guru
past
class.
weekend. I did the
guru
guru
class.
class.
You have a guru class coming up.
I just did it this past weekend. It was great.
There you go.
I was shot. I was so tired after I did it. You don't realize how draining it is to do 10 hours of teaching. It's nuts.
It's insane.
Yeah. I had a guy come all the way from Dubai for the show. And as a matter of fact, when I go to Dubai now, he flew into Orlando direct. So that's the flight I'm taking. So he said, it's miserable, 15 hours. I said, are you kidding me? I can't wait to get on the plane. 15 hours? I wish it was 24 hours, I said.
I know. Dave, you're the only person I know like that.
I know. I'm going to get my... See, because the 6-hour flights suck, Chris. I'll tell you why. Because you don't get
anything done. You can't get nothing done.
If you eat a meal and you
Can't
chill
get
out
relaxed.
a little bit, you're down to 4 hours, and then they always wake you up an hour before this plane lands. So you get 3 hours of sleep. It's terrible. That to me is not relaxing. What's relaxing is 14 hours. Because with 14 hours, the first 2 hours I'm on the plane, because they serve you a meal usually pretty quick, right? I get on the plane. They ask you if you want to drink. I get a glass of wine to relax, okay? I watch a movie for the first 2 hours, right? That's a 2 hour. Each movie is about 2 hours figure. I watch a movie. I haven't seen a movie in God knows how long because I don't have time to watch movies anymore. I'll watch a movie. I'll drink a glass of wine. I'll eat my meal that they give me. I'll, of course, bring an extra meal with me just in case, backup food. So I might even nibble on a little extra food, but whatever. Usually, I'll eat the meal, and then I'll take a Xanax probably when I get on the plane. The great thing about Xanax is it just relaxes you. It's not a sleeping pill. But after I eat and I get the glass of wine in me and my blood sugar drops a little bit, I fall asleep. At that point, I'll probably sleep for 6 hours if I can do it. If I can do it and stay asleep for 6 to 8 hours. So now I'm at the 8 to 10 hour mark. I still have 4 hours left before the plane lands, right? So now I eat another meal. Okay, they'll probably be serving us another meal by now. I have a snack, whatever. I may have even another glass of wine. And the Xanax is probably still relaxing the hell out of me. I'll probably fall back asleep for another 2 hours because I haven't slept. I haven't gotten 8 hours of sleep in probably 3 years.
5 years.
Yeah. And then I'll wake up just in time for breakfast, when the plane's about to land. I'll have the breakfast, and I'll probably stay up and watch another movie for the last 2 hours. So I'll get the movie in the beginning, I'll get the movie at the end, and I'll sleep in between. And I'll get 3 meals in. I'll have no stress, no cell phone stress whatsoever, and I'll be completely well rested when I get there. Now my neck might hurt because the sleeping arrangements, the seats are not. I'm not in first class or anything like that, so the sleeping arrangements are not that comfortable. But it will be complete relaxation. I'll land in Dubai, and now when they'll pick us up there, my guy Syed, who took the course, he's going to show us around there. So his office is right next to the hotel where we're staying. He's going to take us to all the sites. So hopefully we'll get some great videos. That's my plan. And then on the way back, I do the same thing. So
are you flying first class?
No.
That would be you would love, right?
Oh, I'd love to do it. I mean, who knows? Sometimes you get upgraded for the silliest reasons. I got upgraded when I went to FIBO last year, so that was a surprise on the way there and back. So, I'm doing something that I against my, and I've said this before. I always fly on Delta because I want the miles, and if I would do the miles, I'd probably get silver status, even though I only did three flights the whole year because it's such a long flight to Dubai. But you know what? I got to go direct on Emirates, and I heard Emirates is like. It's like even the regular coach seats are supposed to be like better than any other airline, so I'm sure it'll be good.
Maybe Beta could upgrade you.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows someone at Emirates Airline. I don't know.
Did you know that there's a George Farah Classic coming up?
I did know it's in India, which is odd. You'd think it would be in
No,
like...
it's in Italy. This one's in Italy.
I mean,
Maybe
Italy. Okay.
Gian Enrico Pica obviously is running it, so he must have teamed up with George there. It's called the George Farah Classic, Italy. Yamamoto's Nutrition is the sponsor here, and it's November 9th through 11th. Men's open bodybuilding they have there. Pro bodybuilding, bikini, men's physique. This must be the show that he had last year. I think, what did they call it? The San Marino Pro? They must have changed. They must have changed the name of it because it's the same time. It's a little early, I guess, in the year. But I think John Enrico wanted me to come out and cover this show, believe it or not. But I don't think I'm gonna have. I don't think I'm gonna be able to come out there and do it. It's coming up too soon. That's like in a couple weeks. I heard George is doing better. Who did I talk to? I talked to one of his clients. Oh, Danny Unin I interviewed past week too. Great guy. I love him. Good classic physique bodybuilder. George work. He said George is doing better. I'm glad. I think he's finally beat the cancer. I'm sure we'll get the whole story somewhere down the road. When's this the Korea? Isn't there a Korean pro show coming up?
Month from now.
Oh, a month from now. Okay.
Yeah, still another month.
That's
Japan.
Oh,
You're
Japan.
worse than me. You're pulling a clutch here.
There is a Korea show. I'm looking at the schedule.
The Korea show already went on, right?
I don't know. I can't read I don't understand the poster. It's in Korean. Seriously, if you looked at the poster, I can't tell what the date of it is. It doesn't say. It's like in Korean. You know how like in the Spanish they have the words reversed. They got the numbers reversed here. 10. Oh, it looks like it's 11, 1.
Dates. They go the what? They go the day first and then the month after that.
I don't know. I can't make it out here. When's the Japan show?
1 month.
Oh, okay.
4 weeks.
See what else they got here. Oh, Robert Beneke is holding a pro qualifier in Poland. You know, he wanted to get Kai Green to guest pose, and he wanted to get Ramy to guest pose too. And I tried to get him. I got him to be in context. I don't think he was able to do it. These guys they're the two most difficult people to get to do anything. You would think these people. You know what? When I was competing, Chris, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to give Jay kudos too, because Jay's the easiest person to get to do anything if you're willing to pay him. I never turned down anything. Did you ever turn down anything for money? I never turned anything down. If someone asked me, hey, I'm going to pay you to do that, I'm like, where do you need me to be? Never. Never did I turn down any money. I don't know how these guys can do it. It's the easiest. Making an appearance and guest posing or doing a seminar is the easiest, most fun money that you'll ever make in your life. I would never say no because I said, you know what? This was my dream to do this. I get to get paid to fly to a city, get picked up by the promoters, fed the whole weekend, put in a hotel, treated like VIP, and all I got to do is guest post for 10 minutes. I would feel so guilty that I was taking advantage of them that I would offer to do a free seminar, too, when I was there. You said that. And here you got the guy like Robert Beneke, who makes very good money over there in Poland. He's probably going to guest post himself, I bet. He wanted to get like Ramy, he wanted to get Kai, he was willing to pay them well.
Can't get in touch with them.
Can't get in touch with these guys and turn the calls. They're giving out 8 pro cards there. The funny thing about Beneke is he's not Polish. He speaks Polish. His wife is Polish, or his wife was Polish, I should say, his ex-wife. And he just got a good following over there. He's Lithuanian. So who knew? Good for him. He's a good businessman. He was making a comeback. I was working with him, and then he got hurt. He got sick. Maybe next year. I see.
He was pretty good.
Yeah. So that's really it. What else is going on in your neck of the woods? Anything?
Nothing. Just right? It's a post-Olympia lull.
That's right.
It's this weird lull until we're like 16 weeks out from the Arnold.
I know. Well, I want to just say I want to thank all the people who came out to the Secrets to Becoming a Diet Guru course because it was very successful. I thought everyone was there, was asked a lot of great questions, and they learned a lot, and they were very grateful for coming out. Syed flew all the way from Dubai. I had guys from all over the country who came in as well, and we had a packed class. There was not even a single seat open. Next class, I don't know when it's going to be, Chris, because I'm actually trying. I'm actually going on Wednesday. I'm driving up to Tampa to see my to see my surgeon, my shoulder surgeon, to see what when we could schedule surgery. I'm trying to do it at the end of December because I figure that's the lull in our contest season. It's the holidays, nothing's going on. I can kind of like skate under the radar then, and hopefully get that thing fixed. I want to get it in by the end of the year. So we've already, these we pay so much for health insurance. It's sickening,
God.
And I think we finally met the deductible. Amanda had to get like a which we call colonoscopy, and it was like $950 because we hadn't met the deductible. I'm like, well, now that we met the deductible, I might as well get my shoulder done, right? Otherwise, if I get it done in January, I got to meet another deductible again. It's the new year.
It's insane how much health insurance costs.
You would think with all the money you pay for health insurance that you wouldn't have to pay anything, but we still have to pay stuff.
Yeah, I know.
They say the labs are free, but only the labs that they want to be free are free. If you get anything else tested other than what they have on the sheet, then they charge you for it. It's ludicrous.
We went for flu shots yesterday. The family went for flu shots to CVS.
Right.
Should have videoed it. and I get there and under my crappy plan that I pay a fortune for.
They don't cover shots, probably.
For the 13 and 14-year-old, they don't cover the shots.
Oh, my God.
You have to bring them in, and it's part of their, yearly... They'll cover a yearly checkup. It's like, can I just get a flu shot, for God's sakes?
Well, you know what I used to do? When I bred cats, I bred Persian cats for a number of years. I think I've talked about this before. And,
that's the only cat... that's the only cat I like. Can you believe that? You bred Persian cats. It's the only cat I like.
You see, I have my white Persian now, but I had some great cats. You would have loved them. But a matter of fact, a lot of bodybuilders had my cats. They're probably dead now because it's been over 15 years. But I probably bred about 100 of them over the course of 8 years. And the shots that these vets, just like human shots, they're so expensive. You got to do 3 sets of shots for each kitten. I used to just buy them online and do them myself. That's what you should just buy your own flu shots.
You know what? It's so, Dave, I swear. Yesterday when I was at the pharmacy, I was thinking, I wonder where I can just get a flu shot. Just give it to them.
They're probably like $2. I always wondered. You ever notice these nurses that give these shots? They're like the roughest you've ever seen. They take these things. You would think they were throwing a spear through a person's chest cavity. The way they launch that syringe at your shoulder.
Harpoon.
I thought, can you take it easy with the shots? I see them giving shots when I've gotten some shots, whatever hepatitis B shots, the vaccines. I had to do a series of 3 of them. I'm like, do you think I was in medical school time? I'm like, you think you could take it easy? What do you have to put it in so rough for? She's like, I just want to get it over with. I'm like, well, don't get it over with. If you put it in, meanwhile, I have experience, right, with injections. I'm like, if you put it in slowly, okay, if you're hitting anything, it moves. If you spear the arm, it goes right through it, I said.
Cut it in half.
I said, plus, I don't need, the reason why people get bruised is because you're too rough. They don't like to be told what to do. I've been doing this 20 years. I'm like, well, I don't care. It's my arm. It's not your arm.
Yeah.
I said, if you want to let me do it, I'll do my own shot.
I've injected my shoulder more times in 1 year with Permistrel.
I take 14 shots a week. You're telling me how to do how to give a vaccination shot? So it's crazy. We live in an insane society. It's really the truth of the matter. I tried to text. I wonder if I didn't even look at my phone. I texted Big Sean Allen because he wanted to come on the show, and I wanted to see if he was awake. I don't know if he was. We got to get him on next week or something like that. Maybe we'll get him on maybe we'll do a show during the week.
Surprise guest. Have him do the Olympic breakdown. See how he's thought. The show went.
Yeah. You think? Who do you think he liked? I bet he liked Shawn Rhoden.
Yeah, he probably likes Rhoden. And after that comment, it reminds me of myself.
I bet you Big Sean Allen would have been a good classic physique guy.
No, I'm too small. I'm too big.
I don't know because he's so tall. Think about it. What do you think the weight cutoff is for 6'5"?
Yeah, you're right. Probably about two. Yeah,
probably 270.
Yeah, you're right.
He probably would have made it. I don't. You know what? I'm on NPC News. Let me see if
maybe get him back. Make him come back.
Let's look and see what they got this classic physique.
Sean Allen would be a great addition to the Mr. Olympia Roundup or Arnold Classic Roundup.
6'5", he could weigh 270 pounds.
You nailed it, Dave.
He's
What was his contest weight when he won the North
270.
America? There you go.
I think he said it was 280, but I think he easily make it down to 270. You know what? I'm sure now that he's probably listening to us talking about this, he's probably like, yeah, I'm making a comeback. What do you mean? It's too late for me. You know, he's going to come back now and do it.
I don't think it's too late. Maybe he could be classic Mr. Olympia.
There you go. You heard it from Chris Aceto. Big Sean Allen making the comeback in the classic division. He was a classic looking physique type guy. He was never a mass monster. He was big just because he had a big structure, but he really was a classic guy, and he'd do well in that. You know, he would do well in the division.
I'm telling you, Dave.
How he looks now.
The year he did the year Cedric won the New York Pro.
Right.
I don't know where Cedric was. I was waiting for Cedric, and I said I'll be in the McDonald's, and it's New York City.
Yeah.
And Sean Allen, I didn't know who it was. I saw this big guy, the skinniest, the tightest T-shirt on you could imagine. It's New York City. Nobody cares about nothing. And
right.
He looked like he was 500 pounds crossing the street. And everyone stopped to look at him.
Yeah, he's like a WWE guy, he looks like,
And I didn't know who it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he might have come into the McDonald's. He opened up the door, and then he turned around. And I still didn't know who it was until someone said, "Oh, that's Sean Allen." I was like, "Oh, I know that name."
People always ask me who, if I had to pick one bodybuilder who I wanted to look like, and I always said Tony Freeman. Because Tony's like 6'2", he's like 280, he's 270, on stage, very athletic looking. Big Sean would probably be the second guy. He's a little tall, like 6'5" is a little too tall almost, but he had a kind of physique that, that's a nice physique too to have,
I looked freaky that day in a tight T-shirt. Freak.
Right. If I was 6'5" and was like had his physique, I would have been in the WWE. He should have gone right to the WWE. He should have called what's his name, Ed Connors up and got the interview with Vince. I was watching. You ever watch that show Undercover Boss?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times.
Get like someone who owns it. You probably love that company.
They had the Blackman one when Steve Blackman was on the.
What are you talking about? No, they get these guys who own companies and they dress them up in disguise and they have them go undercover basically, and they go work at the factory and they get to know the employees, and at the end the guys that are terrible they tell off, and the ones that are great they give them all kinds of like free vacations and money, and they pay their college tuition. They do all kinds of great stuff. So they had Stephanie McMahon on it. They had like a celebrity one, and she went undercover, and it was a good episode. If you guys can catch it on like on demand or on the replay, whatever, it was a good one. Obviously, I do Stephanie's diet, so it's always good to watch someone that like you kind of know. It makes it more fun. But she was good, and she they gave away some nice stuff to some of these wannabe W. One of the guys was this. He was missing part of his leg, but you wouldn't know it. The guy can move around better than like people with the full leg, and his dream was to photograph the WWE wrestlers. And at the end of he was so nice to her because he didn't know who she was, that at the end she like did all this great stuff for him. She got him a job with the WWE shooting photography all over the world, and that was like his ultimate dream. It was awesome. So I always like these I watch all these now. I'm into these feel good shows now. I watch like Undercover Boss. I've been watching the Long Island Medium, Theresa Caputo.
Oh, you love that one. Yeah, you love that one. You should have her on.
Well, I should. I wish I can get her on. She's interesting because
she can get all the dead people you just talked about.
Yeah, she grew up. I mean, she lives like 10 minutes from where I lived, and she actually did a reading for one of the girls who owns this place I used to shop at, Village Street, where she does piercings and stuff like that, and sells clothing. I knew her. I actually had her piercing people on our TV show, on the Heavy Muscle TV show. Teresa went in there with her daughter to get her ears pierced, and of course she did wind up doing a reading for the girl. It was pretty cool. I like that she goes into places and all of a sudden she starts reading people. Not planned, nothing. She's like, I don't know if you know who I am. Of course they all do. I'm a psychic medium. Do you have is your father dead? Then she started giving him reading. It's the coolest thing. I wish I had that gift, don't you?
Did you raise Siamese kittens in the past? And did you have a year's worth of Duvall from Thailand in a suitcase?
But seriously, I wish I had it's probably a burden because when she was growing up, she said she thought she was had schizophrenia.
Insane. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Their voices.
Once you get control of it, it's a great gift, man. It's but then it's a burden too because then you have to, you almost are obligated to connect with a lot of people all the time, and it could be emotionally draining, I'm sure, to constantly be reading people and channeling their deceased ones, relatives. But she's good. She's very accurate. She's actually friends with another kid I know who did a reading for my wife and I a couple times. He was on our TV show, Christopher
Who's
Allen.
the guy who was a bodybuilding fan? Doug Wentz's friend.
Who?
He was also a long night. John Edwards.
Oh no, that's Frank Zeppi trains him. John Edwards.
Yeah, John Edwards.
John Edwards read me. Frank got me tickets for a 100-person little thing he did at the Marriott Hotel. We went and he actually read me. He only read probably 10 people of the 100, and I wound up getting my mother came through. So he was pretty good. It was pretty accurate, This other kid who read us recently, who was way more accurate, he gave my wife and her mom a reading over Skype, believe it or not. This kid, Christopher Allen. And I think his website is imstillhere.com or something like that. And he's really good. You can sign up with him. He'll do Skype interviews, Skype readings for you. It was like $200. It was nothing. And he was very, very accurate. It's amazing. I love it. I think it's a great gift. Definitely, that's a gift from God for sure. If there ever was one. Back in the 1500s, they would have fucking burned you at the stake for that. But we're a little more tolerable today. Not much, but a little more.
Yeah,
tolerable.
I was going to say they burn you to the stake for a lot less and a lot later in the chronological period of America.
Yeah, but all right, Chris. But you know what? We got to that time. It's getting a little late here, but hopefully somehow we did an hour and 15 minutes and talking about nothing essentially. So,
Well, people want 3 hours.
I know, but. Was a pretty good
show. They say bring back the 3-hour shows. I said that was before kids.
That's right. I wish I had 3 hours to do anything. One thing for 3 hours. There's nothing I can do for 3 hours straight. I can't even watch TV 3 hours. You know that even though I don't watch TV, I try to sit in front of the TV sometimes once in a while, and I can't. I'm so antsy I can't even stay there anymore. I've lost my TV skills. Like you have to watch. I
was always Dave, amazed at your TV watching skills.
Right? Because I was doing a lot of TV watching for a while. Netflix,
and I used to always say,
that's when I was single.
How would you get when you were single and you had no kids and you lived in Seaford? And I would say, you'd say, I watched this, and 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 there'd be this list. And I'd be embarrassed. I watched TV last 20 years ago.
You were laughing to yourself saying, haha, wait till he has kids.
Yeah.
The party's over.
My 14-year-old just asked me to watch something yesterday on Sunday or Saturday. I said, I don't have the mental capacity to sit for 1 hour and
you have to build up TV endurance. I didn't realize that. I lost my TV endurance. I have computer endurance. I can sit at the computer for 12 hours, but I don't have TV endurance. So it was an interesting concept,
if you were sitting watching something, your phone would distract you.
No, even something I like, I can't sit that long. I got to get up. I got to get a drink. I can't sit. I don't have the endurance anymore. I don't have the patience. I lost my focus, even on an airplane, because I don't have that. I don't have the airplane. I don't have the watching endurance. I can watch a movie, but I have to. The good thing on the airplane is you can stop the movie. I get up. I go pee. I'll eat something. I'll go back to the movie. It takes me 3 hours to watch a 2-hour movie. But that's why you need a 14-hour flight, so you have plenty of time to do it.
Watch 3 movies.
That's right. All right, Chris, you know what? Let's wrap this thing up. Next week, a lot of shows coming up in the Ifbb, a lot of pro cards up for grabs all around the world, and hopefully everyone is want to congratulate all the champions from this past weekend. But we're out of time until next week. Remember, with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
Good night, everyone.